good man from what I see. I wish I had a good man like Papoose. Remy Ma now want Papoose back, and he done moved in with his new girlfriend. Now she gotta play the hand that she picked. That man waited for her like she was.
Although it was a typical day, the streets of New York were bustling as usual, but something was brewing in the shadows, a storm that was about to blow up. This was the start of a whirlwind that would shake Remy Madoff. Her fierce presence in the rap game is what makes her core famous. Remy may used to be the epitome of strength, independence, and fortitude, but on that day, none of those qualities would be sufficient to protect her from the fallout from a snap decision. Remy had just begun a new relationship that was full of promise, passion, and excitement. Vanessa was the ideal partner for Remy. She was self-assured, attractive, and vibrant, but as is often the case, the honeymoon phase period didn't last. What began as small conflicts quickly escalated into heated disputes. Rye, a woman who had battled for respect her entire life, found it difficult to strike a balance between controlling Vanessa and loving her. But she wasn't. The argument that started it all began as a minor misunderstanding, possibly caused by a little too much alcohol. But for Remy, it swiftly escalated her emotions because she was frightened to confront her when she needed to. Jealousy and stress, old wounds came pouring in, and the situation worsened before either of them could recognize it. Remy Ma's hands, which were once used to write strong lyrics and hold mixes, ended up in Vanessa's throat during the heated dispute, and she pushed her against the wall. Anger was obscuring her thoughts at the time. Remy was enraged, allowing years of repressed anger to consume her. She wasn't thinking or calculating. Feelings take over.
So you're really not ready for this work. She said it's natural. She don't have to. Sorry about like talking about fighting. Sometimes people be needing getting hands put on them.
The fear was evident in Vanessa's eyes, but Remy M's hold was unwavering, and it wasn't until Vanessa let out a frantic Remy let out a cry of agony as she appeared to lose her temper when reality struck her like a ton of bricks. What had she done, and what had she turned into? Vanessa's voice quivered as she fell back, grabbing her throat to stabilize herself after gasping for air. "You can't just do that. You can't hurt me," she shouted. Remy, there was no time for it since too much had already happened. Remy stopped, her mind racing as the weight of her deeds settled in the room, feeling oppressive, like the walls were closing in on her guilt. A curse still trembling, Vanessa picked up her phone and dialed 911. It didn't take long for the sirens to arrive. Their wail reverberated through the streets, drowning out the commotion in the apartment. Remy was arrested immediately and placed in handcuffs, still in shock. She had always taken pride in her strength, but she felt completely helpless at that moment. The flashing lights blurred in front of her eyes, and the cold metal of the handcuffs felt like a prison she had constructed for herself. Vanessa felt like screaming, crying, or even running after Remy as she was brought away, but she understood what had happened. The courtroom became the scene of their traumatic story in the weeks following the trial, which captured everyone's attention. People couldn't believe that Remy Ma, the woman who had once dominated the rap game, who had come from the streets and conquered the world, could find herself in such a heartbreaking situation. The trust had been broken, and she would always be afraid. Remy's attorneys attempted to minimize the incident by claiming that it was a regrettable altercation between lovers, but the evidence was exposing Vanessa's bruises. Witnesses to the cries, and most heartbreaking of all, Remy Ma's own admission. When the judge handed down the verdict, it was evident that Remy Ma was going to pay a heavy price for her actions, a sentence that felt like a lifetime, one that completely changed her world, from being untouchable to being behind bars, a place where the fame and fortune she once had meant nothing. The media had a field day with the details, dissecting everything on social media, with some people defending her and others condemning her. However, in the end, it didn't matter because the damage had already been done and consequences were inevitable. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, and Remy started to change. The rawness of her emotions could no longer be pushed away because she had hurt someone she loved, and no amount of money, fame, or fans could make up for that. In the quiet of her prison cell, she had no choice but to face the consequences of her actions. The life she knew, the red carpets, the crowds, the lights, was gone. And more than that, she had lost something. Silence was deafening. The reputation she had spent years building, her toughness, and her power had no place in a place like this. Far greater faith in her admirers, friends, and, most painfully in Vanessa, the woman she had loved. Remy Ma's tale served as a heartbreaking reminder of the price of unbridled emotions and the results of an irresponsible life. In the meantime, Papoose, who is renowned for his cool-headedness and stoicism, was caught in an emotional roller coaster that no one could have foreseen. The news hit him like a ton of bricks. Remy's $30 million spousal support award was more than simply financial gain. It was a turning point in their years-long journey together, during which they had endured several legal battles, personal hardships, and the highs and lows of the music industry. But Poe had always supported Remy no matter what, believing in her strength, potential, and their future. However, this was surreal. The amount on the paper felt heavy not because of its size, but because of what it represented. $30 million wasn't just a court victory. It was a chance for Remy Ma to start over and rebuild her career, her life, and possibly even her independence. It was her victory. But Papoose broke down in the quiet of their home because it was a moment of relief rather than anger or sadness. He had always known pride. As Papoose wiped away the tears, he realized that this moment would last forever. Not just the money, but everything they had endured to get there. It was a testament to love, perseverance, and the bond that had carried them through the hardest times of their lives. Remy had the strength to overcome every obstacle, and now that he was seeing her reach this incredible milestone, he was overcome with emotion. In those tears, there was a humility that spoke volumes. He was proud of Remy, of their love, and of everything they had accomplished.
Happened, Remy. I think that is very unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Because I like it too. Very unfortunate, but we won't be knowing what folks be going through behind closed doors, so I don't know what really happened. I remember I spoke on that shit one time, but I don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? What made everybody move where they were moving. I know about it, man. That shit's crazy. I know about the marriage shit's hard. I know one thing like that, you gotta have the right person. If you have the right person, it won't be so hard. It'll be like living life. The regular ups and downs. But you get somebody that ain't right, that shit's gonna tear your ass up. Even if you ain't never did that thing, you probably, if you ain't strong enough, you probably don't never do it again. But I'm gonna do it again. I ain't doing no.
Put it this way: if I was in your shoes, they would say, "Kirk, you deserve that shit." They would talk shit about me, and you know what? I love that they love you. They love you, bro, because you did with a lot of.
When Remy accused Papoose of cheating with boxing champion Clarissa Shields, Kirk Frost couldn't keep ignoring him. Kirk threw himself into the issue, defending Papo and accusing Remy of being unprofessional. He also commended Papo for maintaining his composure during the whole ordeal while Remy supposedly had affairs with other rappers. For those who missed the juicy details, here's a quick recap. Kirk wasn't having any of it and called Remy toxic, accusing her of attempting to stir things up even more. It was last year. When it was revealed that Remy Ma and Papoose had broken up, there were immediate rumors that Remy was seeing an underground battle rapper called Easy the Block Captain, who was in the same social circles as Papoose. However, a few months later, Remy was busted for allegedly slandering Papoose, even though he was guilty of some of the same offenses she was accusing him of. When Remy started dating someone else, Papoose remained silent, accepted the situation, and moved on. However, it appears that Remy couldn't tolerate seeing him with someone new, and a few days ago, she surprised everyone by disclosing her. The internet went crazy when Papoose supposedly cheated on her with Clarissa Shields, but here's the worst part. The situation was becoming more complicated by the day, and Kirk Frost wasn't going to remain silent while Remy continued to level accusations. The drama isn't slowing down. The battle lines are drawn, and Papoose appears to be caught in the middle. She shared a screenshot of a private conversation between Papo and Clarissa, accusing him of falling asleep. Papoose was actually involved in a Poem's relationship with another rapper while Remy was out having the time of her life, stating that Clarissa hung up the phone as soon as she heard Remy's voice while they were in her home. As we all know, Remy Ma has built a reputation as a strict boss who doesn't hesitate to trample on some toes. When Remy remarked, "You're not the only one," she didn't hold back. However, this time, she was choosing a fight with someone who was tougher than her, and Claire Shield retaliated with a devastating line. "If I'm not the only one, why the devil are you? How can a lady with 2 boyfriends get upset with a man who has a girlfriend?" She wasn't finished, but she smacked Remy Ma with another remark. Tagging me by myself then, on Twitter, Clarissa Shields posted Instagram content. "It's unbelievable that a 45-year-old lady would crash out like this and send phony texts. I'm not a B, so you can bully me. You're frustrated and resentful, and you're making yourself appear foolish. Just shut up." That was a major insult. Remy quickly responded, "I'm not 45 yet, but you're 29, and I'll just say this, you're not aging like wine, honey." She then kept it sweet by urging Clarissa Shields to get her boyfriend to buy you some gifts and flowers. He was with his side chick this week, so he didn't even answer his phone. Silence for months. The priest finally broke his silence and took to the internet to share his side of the story. He said, "I've tried to get a divorce multiple times, but Remy Ma is a narcissist who prefers to play the victim instead of dealing with things like an adult. She decided to cheat on me repeatedly after I moved on." In an attempt to show the world how far Remy had moved on, he also posted a picture of himself cuddling up to Easy the Block Captain by the Christmas tree. He acknowledged that he had kept quiet for the sake of their daughter but felt, "I was forced to speak up when Remy kept publicly disparaging him by captioning it, saying, 'This is where Remy Ma was last Christmas while I was at home with my daughter.' But Papoose wasn't done. Now that I've moved on, she's mad and making up lies. I told her we could divorce like adults, but she refuses because I won't lie and say I didn't knock this chump out. I still have messages of her begging me to lie about the knockout, but who cares? He didn't throw a single punch back the last time I saw this chunk, and everyone saw him in the fetal position." When Remy may chastise Papoose for dating, it was terrible. His recent girlfriend, when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, Papoose wasn't holding back. The internet went crazy accusing Remy Ma of being poisonous, and fans said that Papoose didn't deserve any of the drama she was causing. In addition to defending Papo, Kirk Frost accused Remy Ma of trying to play the innocent victim when she was accountable for everything she was accusing Papo of.
About so many women in here, and the women always talking bad about the guys. And then it's none of my business, but I get talked about all the time. And I'm just saying, if he went in business, and his reward to me is bad, but this ain't my business, but I feel like, God damn, bro, I feel bad for him. You put it this way, if I was in your shoes, they would say, "Kirk, you deserve that shit." But they would talk shit about me, and you know what? I love the fact they love you. They love you, bro, because you being with a lot of women do. Seriously, they love you. That's true. You got a lot of respect for the street. I'm keeping it on it. Women, y'all have showed y'all in a very bad way. Okay, but these are women too. That's what I'm saying. We're not only social media, but even when I say it's also that.
However, it's not just Kirk Frost who spoke out. Lil Scrappy also had to weigh in, and you know that when Scrappy talks, he doesn't hold back. So let's see what he had to say about all this drama. The only reason Remy Ma isn't receiving more criticism for portraying Papoose as the toxic one is because she's a woman. If the roles were reversed and Papoose were doing what Remy Ma is doing, things would be much messier.
think that is very unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Because I like them too. Very unfortunate. But, you know, we won't be knowing what folks be going through behind closed doors, so I don't know what really happened. I remember I spoke on that shit one time, but I don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? What made everybody move where they were moving. But I know about it, man. Like, shit's crazy. I know about this marriage. Hard. Like, I know one thing, like, that you gotta have the right person. If you have the right person, it won't be so hard. It'll be like living life. Regular ups and downs. But you get somebody that ain't right, that shit gonna tear your stuff. You know, wish you ain't never did that thing. You probably, if you ain't strong enough, you probably don't never do it again. But I'm gonna do it again one day.
Given how Papo and Remy Ma's relationship ended, it's pretty obvious that a divorce should occur as soon as possible. However, I must admit that Remy May bears the majority of the blame because, although Papoose handled everything like a gentleman, Remy couldn't stand seeing him with someone else. After allowing her feelings to take over, she spilled the beans about his relationship with Clarissa Shields. Now that it's clear that this relationship has failed, we're all hoping that Remy M signs the divorce papers so Papoose can move on with his life. Marriage only works when both partners want it too. Remy Ma's attempt to play the innocent victim while she was the one causing all of this turmoil was brought up by Kirk Frost. Remy Ma is being criticized by fans for coming out as resentful. What do you all think? Did Remy Ma treat Papoose fairly, or is there more to this story that the media isn't covering? She let Papoose move on, embarrassed him publicly, and now she's upset that he's found a new girlfriend. They also pointed out how Remy Ma cheated too publicly by messing with the battle rapper, so now she's upset that Papoose is a world champion. Remy Ma is calling out Papoose for cheating when she did the same thing herself. This seems like a double standard, don't you think? Some people can't stand to see their ex-partners succeeding, and it appears that Remy Ma is one of them. When a woman can't let go, she will try to destroy someone else's reputation in order to feel better. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and remember to watch the next video for more tea.